Fasten your seatbelts, close your eyes, and hold your loved ones tight. It's time for the T-Squared Podcast.
The T-Squared Podcast, Tom, Tony, back for episode number 2. And the good news is, we haven't put episode 1 out as of today yet anyway. So if you're listening to the podcast and, well, things may sound a little dated, Tony, but we're working on all this, get it out there, and people have at least a few episodes to get caught up, right?
Well, think of it as a federal government podcast, you know, just late, going around over budget.
Yeah, we'll get it. We'll get to it when we get to it. That's kind of the thing. But hey, spring's finally got here. Weather's been nice. Well, of course, we got all these stupid little Tennessee winters to go through, and it seemed like I learn a new one every year. This year was Bridges winter.
Bridges winter. I think next week is Calmaner winter.
It sounds about right.
Yeah.
This something I heard of a stump winter once, and supposedly when you run out of wood, you're down to the stump. But somebody that knows more about the weather than we do probably has some insight on that.
I'm ready for big-legged woman winter. I think that's coming up. You know, they make rock and roll go, around.
I thought it was Fat Bottom Girl.
Oh, that's what it is. Yeah. I knew it was something like that.
Something like that. It's all good. It all works together. But a lot going on as we record today. It's Masters weekend, and probably it's maybe a month from now before this comes out. But Tony, you and I were talking about Tiger Woods, and Tiger's pushing 50 now. I think he's around the same age I am, and he's been through so much. He was so great early on in his career. I'd like to see him get one or two more. Can he do it?
I think he can, actually. He's in. He did make the cut. This is a Saturday, so he did make the cut. And have you ever been to any golf tournament?
I have not.
Okay, so I went to the Masters 20 years ago. Phil Mickelson won it. And of course, I'm a lefty. He was a lefty, so that was super exciting. That golf course is hard, man. And you got to think Tiger has an ankle that's fused. He's got so many back issues, and they're fused together. Can't believe he's still walking around that sucker.
Well, and that was what I was going to ask you. You golf, I don't, unless you count putt-putt. But
we don't.
Okay, well, I didn't think so, but I count it for me anyway. But anyway, knowing what he's been through, even though he's a professional athlete, how much more difficult does it make it for someone like that, even being a pro athlete? Through what he's been through.
Just mentally alone, he's way tougher than anybody I know that they keep coming back and keep coming back after that. Because, he first he had back issues, neck issues, car wreck, and all that other stuff. But he's still in the mix. I mean, he's still in the top, 50 in the world?
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I mean, he could come down here and... to beat anybody around here, probably blindfolded.
Yeah. Well, I seen one of the drives that he did, and he drove it like 370 yards or 360 yards. That will almost hit every hole in Smithville Golf Course.
Wow.
From the tee box, it's unreal.
Let me ask you, is golf, when Tiger Woods is done and gone, will golf suffer? Are there enough name people still out there to keep the interest in professional golf in your mind?
I think it'll definitely keep going. There's just so many big-time superstars that are young, up and coming. I just don't see it ever going away.
It's kind of like any level of professional sports, any sport, I guess. When Michael Jordan went away, would anybody be there to take his place?
Yeah.
We've had LeBron. Kobe was there. LeBron has come along.
Who's that?
Now we're starting to look at, after LeBron, who will be the next big star. Tom Brady's gone, but now we got Patrick Mahomes. So it just seems like there's always somebody there to pass the torch to.
Absolutely. I mean, that's why they keep records, so they have a gauge to see how good somebody is.
Right.
And that's what that is. If somebody breaks it, then you classify them as a GOAT.
Yeah.
And is Tiger Woods the GOAT? I think he's definitely in the top 5 ever to play the game.
Sure.
So I think he is a GOAT.
I think people are going to point out Nicklaus, obviously, with the records that he set over the course of his career, but Tiger's right there as far as I'm concerned. Speaking of athletes, O.J. Simpson allegedly died this week. I will say allegedly. It seemed like an awful lot of smoke around what's going on there with O.J.'s death.
Yeah, I don't know about O.J. I think he may have expired. I don't know. I did see one thing that interested me more than OJ's death was the Bronco is actually in Pigeon Forge.
Yeah, I saw it last year. Was up there last year. No kidding. It's in a museum or something, and they have it on display. And I thought, that's not the Bronco, right? And sure enough,
it's the Bronco.
It's the Bronco. They've got the plaque there, and it's kind of funny. I've seen tweets like they ought to, get the Bronco and take it for one last ride.
Yeah, really slow ride. Yeah.
Yeah, really, really slow ride down the freeway. But that was 30 years ago.
Isn't that crazy?
30 years ago that the alleged murders, or not alleged murders, the murders happened. Who allegedly done it? Do you believe there's anybody who, if they were being honest with themselves, would say O.J. Simpson did not commit those murders?
No.
If you're being honest with yourself.
No. Everybody knows he did it.
Yeah. Who else would have done it? There's been no thought whatsoever that somebody else could have done it. No even potential suspect. Nothing. So, did you see the alleged tweet that he put out?
I did, and then the family took it down immediately after.
Yeah.
Another one, did you see one of the interviews with the juror?
Yes.
Who admitted that they voted to get him off because of prior stuff that happened in California.
Yeah.
Which I say since he has moved on from this world, that there'll be a lot of truth come out now.
I would say so. I'm still intrigued by the tweet. He was pretty active on Twitter, but to fabricate that would not be that difficult. But did he maybe on his deathbed admit it?
I don't know. The family is sued again for $100 million.
Yeah.
So.
And I saw that he made his own children sign non-disclosure acts to actually meet with him on his deathbed.
Yeah.
So, and I also saw where a former USC student came out who worked for an attorney back when the OJ trial was going on, and she made the claim that Kardashian and I don't remember if it was Cochran, one of the attorneys came in and talked to this attorney who had represented some women that OJ allegedly had, messed around with, whatever, assaulted back during his USC days. And some hush money was paid to this attorney to keep all this swept under the rug so it wouldn't come out during the actual trial back in 95.
Wow.
So there's a lot of stories, like you say, it's going to come out. I don't think anybody who would be honest with themselves, if you're sitting in a room by yourself and you just got to thinking about it, you're probably going to admit to yourself, yeah, OJ did it.
Yeah.
He did it. There's no other reason.
There's no other reason.
No other reason no one else would have done it.
Yeah.
So, but who knows? We'll never know. He went to the grave with it, I guess.
That's true.
So, the eclipse this week. Big eclipse. Some people got totality here where we are in Smithville, Tennessee. We got, about 92%?
Yeah, something like that. It was still cool. I mean, 17 was way cooler.
Yeah.
But it was still pretty cool.
Yeah.
I mean, it's something, what's the next time it's going to come around, like 80 years or something?
2045.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, I think it's 4 days after my 70th birthday.
Wow. Yeah. Well, will you let me know how it goes?
Yeah, if we're still around, buddy, it's going to be, it'll be, I don't know, hopefully we'll be of mind to enjoy it, I guess.
Yeah.
But it was cloudy most of the day, and a lot of people in Tennessee didn't even get to see it because of the clouds, but they kind of moved out for us.
We got lucky, just right before it happened, the clouds parted, and it was kind of cool, Yeah. We closed up we didn't close the store, but we all stepped outside the store, and I looked up and down the street, and all the employees at Button Willow was looking up, and we were looking up, and the courthouse was looking up, and it was kind of cool seeing everybody.
Speaking of Button Willow, I want to thank them. They are our sponsor here on the T-Squared podcast, and be sure to stop by Button Willow, Main Street, Smithville. Get something good to drink. Golly, they got such great drinks over there.
Did you smell it when you pulled in this afternoon?
I'm still smelling it. We're actually in the building adjacent to Button Willow, and you can smell the coffee roasting.
Yeah, Joe's in there roasting right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll probably hear the fire trucks come by. But yeah, it just definitely puts a cool smell in the air in downtown Smithville. It's killer.
Getting back on that eclipse, I remember the one in August of 2017. We had totality here, and that is one of the most amazing things. First one that I know in my lifetime, probably both of our lifetimes.
Oh, yeah, I don't ever remember another one, just that one.
But we actually, I was on a small town TV broadcast, and just to see it get dark and just, you see all the birds are kind of freaking out, and the night creatures are starting to come out, street lights are coming on. It was quite an experience. I mean, it was eerie.
It was eerie. I was on a pontoon boat at the big water just beside the big island there, and it was wild.
Yeah.
I wasn't alone. There were several boats out on the water when it happened, and it was kind of really quiet on the water, and it's just unreal. And then a big cheer. You could hear everybody cheering around and stuff. But yeah, when it was total eclipse, 100% totality, it was very quiet.
It was quiet, and you sit and you look at the sun, and you got that one little ring kind of where it's just blotted out. It was amazing, and then you get that diamond ring effect, as they call it, when it starts to move. And some great. I'm sure you got great pictures because
I did. Yeah. I didn't this time, just because the clouds was moving in and out, and I just never could get my camera out. But in 2017, I did get some killer pictures.
So it was quite the experience, and a lot of people that didn't get to experience it in 2017 certainly got to experience it this time. Tony, we got a guest today. We don't have to pull somebody off the street like we did last time.
Yeah, I'm excited about this guest. I can't wait to see him come out of his shell for once.
We hope so. We've got Dwayne Page. He is WJLE Radio in Smithville.
The voice of Smithville, he is.
He is all things. He has been at WJLE since 1979. So this is his 45th year. Wow. It's been 45 years. I guess this technically is his 46th year, but I worked with Dwayne a long time, and you've known Dwayne a long time, and man, he's so modest. He's not one that opens up and talks about anything to do with himself. So today's going to be interesting. Can we get him out of the shell a little bit?
When we decided to ask him, I thought I would get a little pushback from him. He was all for it.
Yeah.
So he's just 100% Smithville and wanting to see Smithville prosper and stuff like this, podcasts and things like this. He's wanting it to prosper just for everybody. So I'm excited that he said yes, and we'll be here shortly.
I tell you the truth, he knows as much about what's going on in DeKalb County as anybody at all.
Absolutely.
Probably more than anybody.
Yeah, absolutely.
He just, and he's fair, he's honest, he's never been one to jade the news. He just does the news, reports things as they are, and is a good guy, and just an all-around good person. So, and he's been working at this a long, long time. So, man, I'm excited about this. I've never got a chance. He's interviewed me. I've never got to interview him.
That's awesome.
This is going to be fun.
Yeah, it is going to be. And that's one thing to touch base on what you just said is his news. It's the news. There's no opinion in it. Right. Not like today's news, where mostly opinion with a little bit of news sprinkled in. He's just strictly, this is the facts.
Yeah. And, the WJLE website is probably the most prominent website based in DeKalb County. And even with the fact that, you see things on social media now, they'll instantaneously come out. WJLE's website still gets more hits every day than any other website based out of this county, by far.
Absolutely. I know. I'm check it once, maybe twice a day, just see what's going on.
But the thing about social media, you don't know if you're always getting the truth. With Dwayne, he's going to get to the truth because he won't report anything but that.
Yeah.
So that website has been just a valuable asset for citizens of this county and people who've moved away from here that keep up with what's going on in their hometown. All they got to do is go to that website.
That's
so
right.
We're excited about having Dwayne on.
Yeah, our last guest, that's what he said. When he lived in Washington, he would check WJLE just to keep up with what happened in his old hometown.
That's it. That's exactly right. So we're going to have a lot of great guests as we continue this podcast, and we're just really in the infant stages right now, which is good for us because we're kind of babyish anyway. But this has been a lot of fun so far, and if we can figure out how to make all the equipment work, anyway, we'll be all right. But looking forward to this podcast growing. We're going to have contact information coming up. We're going to have a website here pretty soon that we'll be hosting this podcast, hopefully other podcasts. Remember this name, Slackerbilly. That's going to be the website, slackerbilly.com. It's going to be the Slackerbilly Podcast Network. We're not only going to have that, we're going to have blogs, we're going to have some entertainment features, some different things to hopefully amuse and entertain you. Straight up entertainment. That's what we're looking for here. Not getting into all the things that stress us out on a day-to-day basis, politics and news and, all that good stuff. We want to just put something out there for people to enjoy.
Absolutely. It's just two guys talking that's going to have a guest. And if you was sitting here, you'd say there's no notes.
Yeah.
We're just talking about whatever we want to talk about.
Exactly. So we're going to have a lot of fun with this. We want to get input. We want to get feedback. And like I said, we're going to have some platforms for you to reply to us. We'll have social media accounts that you can interact with us. So we're looking forward to all that. What I'm looking forward to is Dwayne Page. He's coming up next on the T-Square Podcast.
Buttonwillow General Store, located in historic downtown Smithville. The best coffee in Middle Tennessee. Go by and see Joe, Angela, and their outstanding staff. Order up one of their amazing drinks and check out the general store while you wait. Lots of unique and locally made products to choose from. Buttonwillow General Store. Be sure and tell them you heard all about them on the T-Squared Podcast.
Hey folks, Tom Duggan from the T-Squared Podcast here to tell you about two of my absolute favorite places to eat. The Lipstick Pig Barbecue in Smithville and On the River Grill in Rock Island. Stop by the Pig at 320 West Broad Street, Smithville for the best barbecue you'll find in this area. My buddy Jeff has everything from pulled pork to barbecue nachos and my personal favorite, their amazing loaded barbecue baked potato. Don't forget their tender, juicy, fall-off-the-bone ribs that will have you calling in for seconds before you even finish the first rack. And if you're looking to eat a little healthier, they've got one of the best salad bars you'll find around. If you love the water and good food, you have to check out On the River Grill at Cotton's Marina in Rock Island. Try one of their delicious hand-patted real beef burgers, including everyone's favorite, the Bourbon Bacon Cheeseburger. They also have shrimp, cucumber boats, and plenty of other items, plus beer and plenty of soft drinks. You can even bring your own bottle of wine. On the River Grill is open this Memorial Day weekend, Friday from 4 until 9, Saturday 11 until 9, and Sunday 11 until 5. The Pig is open every Saturday through Wednesday from 11 until 5, and Thursday and Friday from 11 until 8. The Lipstick Pig Barbecue and On the River Grill, two of my favorites, and they'll be yours too once you try them. Stop by and tell them Tom from the T-Squared Podcast sent you.
Everyone has heard of a boutique, but how about a brotique? The Mailroom Brotique, 102 West Main Street in downtown Smithville, is your go-to shop for all things masculine. The Mailroom prides themselves in offering high-quality and unique apparel, grooming products, and gifts. They also offer custom designs that are unique and cannot be found anywhere else. But what about the ladies? The Mailroom is excited to now offer women's apparel and gifts in addition to their full line of men's products. Visit the Mailroom in historic downtown Smithville or online at themailroomtn.com. We appreciate you shopping local.
Are you ready to supercharge your nutrition and energize your day? Visit Mad Nutrition at 417 East Broad Street in Smithville, your go-to destination for premium protein shakes, protein-packed snacks, and energy teas with essential vitamins. Whether you're powering through a workout or just need a pick-me-up, Mad has got you covered. Swing by Mad Nutrition today and taste the difference quality nutrition can make. Fuel your body, fuel your life. Mad Nutrition, your recipe for success. Call in your order ahead of time or send via text message at 615-684-8586. That's 615-684-8586. Mad Nutrition.
Back on the T-Square Podcast, and our guest is in the house. We are honored to have with us today Dwayne Page of WJLE Radio. As I said earlier, he is WJLE Radio and has been for a long time. Dwayne, thank you so much for being here today.
Well, it's a pleasure to be here. It's my first podcast.
Well, I think it's ours too, for the most part.
Well, I've been in this business a long time, but I've not done this before, so it's an honor to be to do this with you guys. With
the podcast thing growing, I guess, a little bit out there, do you think that affects radio in any way, shape, or form from what you see?
Well, it could, I guess, but I don't think small town radio like what we're doing, it affects us too much, and, all forms of communication are good, so if we can, reach the people however we can reach them, that's okay,
In the years that you've done radio, I know you've seen changes, and I guess maybe what's one of the biggest changes during the time you've been in radio, the biggest thing that has maybe changed in that business?
Well, that's the technology, certainly. I mean, when I started in 1979, There was it was done the old-fashioned way, the vinyl records, and you played the vinyl records, and you know some of this. You worked with us for a good many years. Not you didn't go back as long as I did.
No,
but
I don't think he was born yet.
Yeah. Come on now. But anyway, the technology, I think we've gradually come. Now you come in the radio station and you don't see any vinyl really at all. It's all digital, and so I guess the technology would be the biggest change.
Do you think, for the better that we've gone from maybe the days of the vinyl, the days of the personalities even?
Oh, yeah.
Do you think it was better then, or does technology make it a better product now?
Well, technology makes it certainly easier, better. I have some doubts about that. I think it takes the personality it can out of the spontaneity out of the live show, because so much of it is packaged now in a lot of places.
Right.
You go in, you record your shows, and you do them. But back in the day, when a lot of it was just live, and we still, being local, we still do some live talk programs and things, and so we hadn't gotten away from that. But yeah, I think it can. I think it can take some excitement out of it. But that's the kind of world we're living in today.
Yeah, for sure. Let's go back to 1979, Dwayne, and what got you started at WJLE? Was radio in your blood growing up?
Well, I was always fascinated by radio and watching the news on television and that sort of thing. I was really shy, and a lot of people that are in this business are shy. But I was very shy, painfully shy, growing up as a kid. And when I got to high school, I got kind of pushed into public speaking with some of the clubs I was in, and I had to get in front of people and deliver speeches and things, and that helped bring me out of some of the shyness. But I always still had kind of a fascination for radio. We had when I was growing up, we went to a church that had a radio broadcast here in Smithville, and I would come out there with my dad, and he would sing on the program with my uncle and aunt, and I'd sit there and watch not what they were doing. I was watching what was going on in the control room.
Right.
So yeah, I mean that was there for going way back. The love for that, and then just. I didn't have any formal training in this, but right out of high school, they were looking for somebody, and I just happened to come by at the right time and got the job as sort of a, we call it a staff announcer now. I mean, I'm not really a DJ, but that's, an on-air person, And then they said, well, we need a news director, which I had no idea I was going to ever do that, 18 years old, and they want you to go out and cover all the news. And
wow.
I didn't even know the newsmakers, That was tough for a while. So I just then started from that.
I've been doing real estate 25 years now, and you was one of the first person that I ever met when I started doing some advertising. I used to bring my kids, and they were little bitty, and recording with you.
Yeah, you were doing other things, and that's how I met Tony, and he'd come in there and do his own ads, and we worked together, and so it's that's just part of it. Getting to meet people like Tony is it's an interesting business because you get to meet just about everybody at one time or another. People in business, people in entertainment, politicians, all kinds of people that make things happen.
I want to go back because when I did news for a little while with the local newspaper, I had you to rely on because we had worked together for a long time, and I knew people. I didn't know, as you call it, the newsmakers like you did. So I had that voice. How did you adjust to that and get to know those people, especially being so young? It was probably a learning curve there.
Well, it was tough in the very beginning because, you had 50 and 60-year-old, people in office, and here's an 18-year-old asking them questions, and they're like, you're a kid, They didn't say that, but that's how I felt.
Yeah.
So it took a long time to kind of grow into that. And over time, and I got, to know some of the people in office over time at that time. But as they left, didn't run again or whatever, and other people came in their place, then I worked with them from the beginning of their campaigns. I wasn't part of their campaigns,
right.
But they'd come and run radio ads and so forth. So you get to know those people, and when they get in office, they you got a relationship with them.
Sure.
So and that's just kind of how that built. Sort of.
One thing that's always impressed me about what you do, and you've done this a long time, is being fair. The news is the news. Tony and I touched on this in our first segment, but the news is the news. And we don't get a lot of that these days. We won't get off into that. But have you always just kind of prided on that being it? I mean, you're not swayed one way or another. You just report the facts.
Yeah.
Has it ever been tough just to do that? Because I know people, from my time at the paper, people like to get in your ears sometimes.
Yeah, they do. And but I think the ones that last the longest are, if you want to stay in this business, even on whatever level, is to do it that way, to try to be fair and try to not be partisan, show that. I mean, I have beliefs like everybody else does, but I try not to put them in the story,
Yes.
But yeah, I mean, Tommy Webb told me one time, the local historian, he came to me and he said, I don't know what you are politically, he said, but you're the one guy that can get along with both sides. So, and that was kind of a compliment,
That's a huge compliment. I don't have, I'm kind of in a little bit of politics. I don't have no idea which way you sway.
Yeah, and I try not to let that be known much. And that's a good thing, because if you can't tell in the reporting, and I'm not saying that I don't make mistakes, I do, but if you can't tell from how you write it, then it's a pretty good idea that you're doing it right, maybe. But
Absolutely, and that's one thing I truly admired. And again, my short time doing news, I did not enjoy doing news. I'm going to be honest with you. It takes somebody special to be able to do that. But I looked up to you and the way you did it and trying to be fair and balanced, and I think that's the way it always should be, but it's just unfortunately not in some cases anymore. But you've always done a great job with that.
We'll have more with Dwayne Page coming up when the T-Squared podcast continues.
Buttonwillow General Store, located in historic downtown Smithville. The best coffee in Middle Tennessee. Go by and see Joe, Angela, and their outstanding staff. Order up one of their amazing drinks and check out the general store while you wait. Lots of unique and locally made products to choose from. Buttonwillow General Store. Be sure and tell them you heard all about them on the T-Squared podcast.
Hey folks, Tom Duggan from the T-Squared podcast here to tell you about two of my absolute favorite places to eat. The Lipstick Pig Barbecue in Smithville and On the River Grill in Rock Island. Stop by the Pig at 320 West Broad Street, Smithville for the best barbecue you'll find in this area. My buddy Jeff has everything from pulled pork to barbecue nachos and my personal favorite, their amazing loaded barbecue baked potato. Don't forget their tender, juicy, fall-off-the-bone ribs that will have you calling in for seconds before you even finish the first rack. And if you're looking to eat a little healthier, they've got one of the best salad bars you'll find around. If you love the water and good food, you have to check out On the River Grill at Cotton's Marina in Rock Island. Try one of their delicious hand-patted real beef burgers, including everyone's favorite, the Bourbon Bacon Cheeseburger. They also have shrimp, cucumber boats, and plenty of other items, plus beer and plenty of soft drinks. You can even bring your own bottle of wine. On the River Grill is open this Memorial Day weekend, Friday from 4 until 9, Saturday 11 until 9, and Sunday 11 until 5. The Pig is open every Saturday through Wednesday from 11 until 5, and Thursday and Friday from 11 until 8. The Lipstick Pig Barbecue and On the River Grill, two of my favorites, and they'll be yours too once you try them. Stop by and tell them Tom from the T-Squared podcast sent you.
Everyone has heard of a boutique, but how about a brotique? The Mailroom Brotique, 102 West Main Street in downtown Smithville, is your go-to shop for all things masculine. The Mailroom prides themselves in offering high-quality and unique apparel, grooming products, and gifts. They also offer custom designs that are unique and cannot be found anywhere else. But what about the ladies? The Mailroom is excited to now offer women's apparel and gifts in addition to their full line of men's products. Visit the Mailroom in historic downtown Smithville or online at themailroomtn.com. We appreciate you shopping local.
Are you ready to supercharge your nutrition and energize your day? Visit Mad Nutrition at 417 East Broad Street in Smithville, your go-to destination for premium protein shakes, protein-packed snacks, and energy teas with essential vitamins. Whether you're powering through a workout or just need a pick-me-up, Mad has got you covered. Swing by Mad Nutrition today and taste the difference quality nutrition can make. Fuel your body, fuel your life. Mad Nutrition, your recipe for success. Call in your order ahead of time or send via text message at 615-684-8586. That's 615-684-8586. Mad Nutrition. Dwayne Page of WJLE, our special guest today on the T-Squared podcast, served up by Button Willow General Store.
We got something we're going to do in a minute, Tony, but to honor 45 years of you being on the radio, and, you know, Dwayne, I guess just looking down the road, how many more years you want to keep doing this? Do you still love it as much as you ever have?
Well, yeah, I still love it, but, age will catch up with me sooner or later, or health or whatever. My health is still good right now, thank the Lord, but it's not something I see doing 20 years from now, or I don't even know if 10 years from now, you know. But for now, yeah, I'm still enjoying it, and we'll see. I mean, they may get rid of me before I get rid of it.
I don't see that happening.
I really don't see that happening. Well, Dwayne, we wanted to do something, and Tony, I'm going to let you make the presentation here. I know we're not video just quite yet, so you can't quite see what's going on here, but in honor of 45 years, and hoping for many, many more years of great success, Dwayne. And
thank you so much.
Hope you like cake.
I do. You can't tell by looking. That is so nice, guys. Well, that's quite a surprise. Well, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
All right.
We thank you for all you've done for Smithville and DeKalb County over the years. I thank you personally for always being a mentor for me, and again, somebody I've looked up to, a good friend. You know, Dwayne and I, we share some interests. We start talking about music sometimes, and I've always enjoyed that. And I'll let you in on a secret, Tony. I don't know anybody around here knows more about the Andy Griffith Show than this guy. He knows stuff I've never heard before, but he's got a great memory, and Dwayne, you've just been a great asset to this community. We thank you.
Well, you're mighty kind to say that, both you and Tony. Thank you so much for having me out here today, and thanks for the nice cake there. That's really happy 45th anniversary, WJLE. Dwayne, thank you so much, guys.
Yes, sir.
That's very nice, very nice.
You got to make one promise.
What's that?
Next Andy Griffith trivia night, you're on my team.
Okay. Okay, I think we can win.
You got it. Tony, I've hijacked this interview because I've just there's so much I wanted to talk about.
Absolutely. No, that's the way it should be. Y'all got a longer relationship than me and Dwayne have, but I do appreciate everything you've done for me, my family, and for the county and the city. You're definitely a gift to everybody here.
Thank you so much, guys, and you were good guys as well. So thank you so much for having me out today.
I guess before we let you go, I got to get a couple stories here, just some things that maybe stand out over time, in your memory of your time at WJLE, a couple of memories, funny or whatever, that always come to mind for you.
Gosh, I mean, that's, that's tough. When you're doing live radio, there's something that's going to go wrong every now and then. You may slip. I'll tell you something. I had a preacher one time that was, we still do the morning devotions like we have done for years. And we used to do back when we had the old wire service. Everything is satellite, now. All the news is done by satellite, the state news, national news. But back then, we're looking at sometime during the 80s, we switched over. But we had the old Associated Press wire service, and it'd sit there and, just run news from all over the world. We were there the day that President Reagan got shot, and that came through, and, the Challenger exploded and all that, so that all came through. and we would use that as a way to, sell advertising for some things like farm reports. And some of that stuff, even though I was raised on a farm, some of those market prices were just kind of confusing to me. But anyway, so we had a local business in town that sponsored the farm report, market report, every morning right before we did the minister that would come on and do 5 minutes. And I would just go in there and rip it and read it. And it was mostly prices, commodities.
Right.
Soybeans are bringing this today. Cattle are bringing this, whatever. And it had a name. The name of the report was the Feeder Pig Report. And so it was brought to you by a local sponsor in town. And so one morning I was a little bit running a little behind. So I went in there and ripped it. And the preacher was sitting there ready to go live. So I sat down, opened my mic, and I said, "It's time now for the Peter Fig Report." And so he lost it. He looked over at me, and he was in the floor laughing. And I saw that, and I broke up, and I couldn't even go on. I just had to say, I just wadded the paper up and threw it on my shoulder and said, we'll try this tomorrow. He barely did get composed, but so he had to go on live next. So that's one example. I mean, live radio will catch you sometimes, because we didn't have and still don't have a delay, where most stations probably got a 6 or 10 second delay or something, and we needed one for years, but we didn't and don't. And so it'll catch you sometimes. But yeah, that's just an example of things that happen, I guess.
I know you've worked with some pretty interesting people over the years. Ralph Vaughn, of course, a lot of folks that know WJLE know Ralph, and you worked with Ralph for years, and a lot of people that came through over the years, Dennis Stanley and Sean Jacobs are good friends of yours, mine as well, and some of those guys, was it a lot of fun? I guess you sort of grew up, I guess, in that, even that you were a young man starting out, being around those cast of characters, I'm sure got interesting at times.
Well, yeah, that's there's stuff that you probably can't say on there that happened, but you learn from these people. And I did, Ralph, he hired me basically, and learned a lot from him. And you learn from everybody you work with. Sure. I mean, we brought Tom in when he was still in high school. Wow. I'm just a rare jewel, a raw talent, and he does
have face for radio.
I do.
He's done it all, and he's made the round.
Gone into oblivion, as Doc used to say.
But yeah, you learn from all these people, and it's fun. And everything, every day's different. It's a little different. I mean, you don't go in there, you don't punch a time clock or anything. And I'm not putting that down. Don't get me wrong. That's important too. But you don't know what the rest of this day is going to bring that you're going to probably have to cover. Mm-hmm. Good, bad, whatever, and you don't look forward to reporting anything bad, but that happens. And then the good stuff, you get to be a part of that too, so.
A lot of people may not know, and I want to go back and mention the name Doc. Dr. W. Vedada, who owned WJLE for years and years and years, and Doc has passed on now, but he hired me. You and he hired me back in the day, but he's someone I know that you and I both just hold a high esteem because he was a wonderful man. But we'd be remiss not to mention him and what he meant to that radio station.
Oh yeah, he was one of the founders of the radio station WJLE in Smithville, and he's been gone now for about 12 years, 10 or 12 years.
Hard to believe that.
He lived a good long life and he was a good man. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was there the day that I got hired, and he was part of that. And he had his he wasn't radio. I mean, he didn't come from that. He was a very successful businessman, doctor, he's a chiropractor. Yeah. And but he always seemed to know what was needed, and we'd get it for you or let you do it. But yeah, he was a giant, I think. And even though he couldn't sit down there and run a radio show, or he didn't know how to do the mechanics of it, but he knew how to make it work. Yeah. So And we miss him still today, you know.
And he appreciated his employees, and he was just a good man. If you knew him,
He had a sense of humor, of course, some pretty dry sense of humor, you know. And we've told this many times, but one of the things he said to me was, I'm in there for an interview with Ralph and him, and one of the things he said was, "Can you read?"
That was a requirement.
It was a requirement, and it needs to be a requirement if you're going to be a radio announcer, you know. And so he actually he brought some copy in there and said, "Hey, read this, see what you sound like," you know. So, and it didn't matter how deep your voice was or high or whatever, you know, as long as you could get the words out. Okay, you got it. You know?
He was a treasure, a good man.
Small town radio.
Indeed. He was great, and I know we miss him. We worked with a lot of great people over the years, and like I said earlier, this guy's modest. I know he won't brag a lot on himself, but I will. You know, I remember back in the days we signed off at 10 o'clock. Dwayne would be there working on news or just coming in from a meeting. I've gotten there to sign on a Sunday morning at 5:30, and he's there doing news. I mean, this guy, I don't know when he sleeps. I don't know if he sleeps, but one of the hardest working guys I've ever known. Dwayne, thank you so much.
Well, thank you guys for the invite and the nice little gift there. That's quite nice. I appreciate that.
Yes, sir.
Are you going to share it with us?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
That means
Sure
it's time
will.
for a commercial break so we can eat cake.
All right.
Dwayne Page of WJLE has been our guest on the T-Square podcast presented by Button Willow.
Button Willow General Store, located in historic downtown Smithville. The best coffee in Middle Tennessee. Go by and see Joe, Angela, and their outstanding staff. Order up one of their amazing drinks and check out the general store while you wait. Lots of unique and locally made products to choose from. Button Willow General Store. Be sure and tell them you heard all about them on the T-Squared podcast.
Hey folks, Tom Duggan from the T-Squared podcast here to tell you about two of my absolute favorite places to eat. The Lipstick Pig Barbecue in Smithville and On the River Grill in Rock Island. Stop by the Pig at 320 West Broad Street, Smithville for the best barbecue you'll find in this area. My buddy Jeff has everything from pulled pork to barbecue nachos and my personal favorite, their amazing loaded barbecue baked potato. Don't forget their tender, juicy, fall-off-the-bone ribs that will have you calling in for seconds before you even finish the first rack. And if you're looking to eat a little healthier, they've got one of the best salad bars you'll find around. If you love the water and good food, you have to check out On the River Grill at Cotton's Marina in Rock Island. Try one of their delicious hand-patted real beef burgers, including everyone's favorite, the Bourbon Bacon Cheeseburger. They also have shrimp, cucumber boats, and plenty of other items, plus beer and plenty of soft drinks. You can even bring your own bottle of wine. On the River Grill is open this Memorial Day weekend, Friday from 4 until 9, Saturday 11 until 9, and Sunday 11 until 5. The Pig is open every Saturday through Wednesday from 11 until 5, and Thursday and Friday from 11 until 8. The Lipstick Pig Barbecue and On the River Grill, two of my favorites, and they'll be yours too once you try them. Stop by and tell them Tom from the T-Squared podcast sent you.
Everyone has heard of a boutique, but how about a brotique? The Mailroom Brotique, 102 West Main Street in downtown Smithville, is your go-to shop for all things masculine. The Mailroom prides themselves in offering high-quality and unique apparel, grooming products, and gifts. They also offer custom designs that are unique and cannot be found anywhere else. But what about the ladies? The Mailroom is excited to now offer women's apparel and gifts in addition to their full line of men's products. Visit the Mailroom in historic downtown Smithville or online at themailroomtn.com. We appreciate you shopping local.
Are you ready to supercharge your nutrition and energize your day? Visit Mad Nutrition at 417 East Broad Street in Smithville, your go-to destination for premium protein shakes, protein-packed snacks, and energy teas with essential vitamins. Whether you're powering through a workout or just need a pick-me-up, Mad has got you covered. Swing by Mad Nutrition today and taste the difference quality nutrition can make. Fuel your body, fuel your life. Mad Nutrition, your recipe for success. Call in your order ahead of time or send via text message at 615-684-8586. That's 615-684-8586. Mad Nutrition.
The T-Square podcast presented by Button Willow, located downtown on Main Street, Smithville, right next door to Tony Luna's real estate office, and right down the road from the mail room. Got a cool hat out of your store, by the way.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Got a John Anderson, Aaron Tippin 24, like a presidential.
That's exactly. You know, when we did that, we actually got permission from John and from Aaron. We wanted to make sure they wanted to be a part of it, and both guys ended up coming in buying shirts from us, and Aaron's wearing his on stage next play. So it was cool. We're glad we came up with that idea.
They are two of the nicest guys you'll ever want to meet. As far, you think about some celebrities are hard to get along with.
Yeah.
But these two guys are so down to earth. They're so nice, and that's just the coolest hat. I hope I can track them down. I'll probably have to stalk them and get them to sign it.
You just need to hang out here in front of the store. One of them usually shows up at least once a week. So.
I'll go stand in their alleys.
Yeah, that's right.
When Aaron's done, maybe I can run into one of them there.
We got the signs ordered for that.
Awesome.
Signs are ordered. We're city's footing the bill for that. Thank you, Josh Miller and the city, for doing that for us. And then we got a surprise once that gets done. We're going to do out here on the crosswalk. So I can't wait for everybody to see that.
Awesome. That's going to be a lot of fun. And I know Aaron's got to be tickled. And he's meant a lot to the folks here. And so is John. We've had several named celebrities over the years that have lived here. Some we've known about, some we don't. You know of some. I know some you can't even talk about that you've worked with. But this is a great place around Center Hill Lake, and it just people come here because they love it.
Well, why wouldn't you? It's gorgeous. It is absolutely gorgeous here.
And they can be people. They can come here and just be. John and Aaron are just like regular folks. They're
That's exactly
like
right.
that. And we love them to death. So really happy about my hat for sure. What about Dwayne Page?
I thought it went great. Dwayne is such a gem for this county, this city. He has seen it all, and Dwayne's the same. And if you've never met Dwayne, I guarantee you know his voice.
Yeah. That's the truth. I mean, he's one of those people, if you pick the phone up and you hear his voice, you know
who he is.
You know it's Dwayne Page. And he's meant a whole lot to DeKalb County, and certainly that radio station. I mean, 45 years they've been on the air. 60 years this year.
Wow.
This is the 60th year. So he's been there 45 of the 60 years
that
it's been on the air. So he means a lot.
Same age as you.
Yeah, exactly. But he really was just kind of a mentor for me when I started out in radio. And, he talked about being painfully shy. And I know he and I have talked about that before. I was, too, when I started that job. And to kind of loop today's episode back to week 1, Stephen Cantrell, who we had last week, his mother actually was the reason I ended up working at JLE.
Is that right?
She was the guidance counselor at the high school, Miss Catherine. She went by Cantrell, I guess. That's what I called her. Anyway, and so one day she saw me in a hallway and said, "Hey, radio station's looking, for a high school kid to do some night work. I thought you might be good for that." I'm like, "You're crazy, lady." I mean, I was just very shy at the time, and but the more I thought about it, the more I thought, man, that'd be a really cool gig, and so that's how I kind of got started. So it was a lot of fun. Dwayne was great to work with, and just someone I always looked up to because he does things the right way.
He sure does, and he's just such a good guy. He just really is genuinely a good guy.
Yeah, absolutely so. So we appreciate him stopping by. Hey, we appreciate you for stopping by and taking time to listen to the T-Square podcast. We've got more interesting guests to come. We've been talking about a lot of people that, man, I'm excited. I can't wait to get some of these folks on here with us because it's going to be a blast.
The list is starting to get long.
It is. It definitely is. We want to thank Button Willow, Joe, and Angela for sponsoring our podcast. We're going to be hopefully adding some sponsors here in the future as well. And as I mentioned earlier, we'll have some contact information. Our website will be up soon. We got a lot of exciting things in the works. So, Tony, I'm just fired up. I'm happy about this time of year because it's warm weather again.
Thank goodness.
Absolutely. So, let's keep this ball rolling.
Sounds good, Tom. Good to see you again.
You too. For Tony, I'm Tom for the T-Squared podcast. So long.
Yeah.